So this week we are celebrating 10 years of Dynamix Dance Team here in the DC area, and it's been fun to go back through all our files and look at the old videos and pictures from our practices and performances and the choreographies that we've learned in the past 6 years since I've been on the team and the past 10 years of the team's existence. And so as I came to look at 2014, I know that that year was a turning point for Dynamix. That was the year that we actually worked with Karen and Ricardo. And we called them earlier that summer and asked them if they would do a choreography for us. And they said they would do not only a salsa choreography, but a bachata choreography for us. And at the time, they actually weren't that famous. They had already won a world title, I think a couple world titles, but they actually weren't as well known as they are today. So we got them to work with us before they were really famous. Anyhow, they came that fall. And when they got here, we trained with them for an entire week. They stayed with a couple of our team members, and my gosh, those rehearsals were intense. They were like drill sergeants. They were demanding, and they really made sure that we got every part of the routine, all the lifts, all the tricks, all the choreography, all the dancing. They would not let us leave rehearsal until we actually got to the point that they want us to get to that day. And I have to say, I have so much respect for them because their work ethic, when they look at dance the same way everyone else looks at their job, their career. It's a 9 to 5 to them. They get up in the morning and they go to the gym or the dance studio, wherever there's a dance floor with the mirrors, and they are dancing all day. When they go home, they sew their costumes, they're stoning their costumes, they're prepping their shoes, they're trying to figure out what kind of hairstyles to do. They work the job in such a professional way. And so the rehearsals and the practices were tough, but so much respect because we understood that they were taking this just like everyone else takes their actual jobs, their 9 to 5s as well. And so it was amazing. But I have to say, they were also incredibly humble, having already won world titles, very humble. They went out and they danced with us socially. We went out a couple times. And not only that, but they, during the rehearsals, and this is really a tough thing for a lot of professionals to do, understandably, they actually did the tricks with us. I turned Karen into one of her famous coffee grinders or stir-ups or tornadoes, whatever you want to call them. And I thought I was doing it really well because it looked good from my vantage point and everyone else thought it looked good. And when she came up all the way, she says, all wrong, all wrong. So apparently I was doing it wrong, but it looked great because she's just so strong. Ricardo, he did all the lifts with all the ladies. Didn't matter if they were super tall, if they were short, if they were larger or smaller, didn't matter. He did the lifts with everybody. And I was just so impressed with their humility as well as their work ethic. They decided to actually perform with Dynamix on stage at the Houston Salsa Congress in 2015, January 2015. And here's a little known fact. Dynamix is actually the first team to work with Karen and Ricardo. So before there was their world dance crew and before they were as famous as they are now in the United States, Dynamix was the first dance team to work with them. And so we were elated that they were actually willing to perform with us on stage. And if you go on YouTube and type in Dynamix with Karen and Ricardo, you'll see those two choreographies, the bachata and the salsa choreography, are our most viewed choreographies, of course, with them being there. And amazing that they would be willing to do that. Now, I have to admit that I myself was not able to perform with them on stage because a month prior to the Houston Congress, I proposed to a lady who is now my wife, so it wasn't the financially wise decision to make. However, I'm quite jealous of my cohorts on the Dynamix dance team who got to get on stage with the world champions and perform with them. It's amazing that they did that. And what the team tells me and what they were saying, they were communicating with us real time. They were saying like, oh my gosh, Karen and Ricardo, their preparation before getting on stage just to do a 2-minute routine is so extensive. They are several hours out working on their hair, trying to make sure it doesn't fly in the face or get snagged on the costume, make sure the costume doesn't get caught on anything. They sew themselves into the costume. They tape, they don't just tie knots in their shoes, they double knot them, tape them down. They don't want to leave any room for error at all as a possibility before they get on stage. So they're making all that preparation. And so Dynamix, we as a team have carried that legacy on because of course we are trying to be the best. And so we wanted to emulate those who are at the top of their game. And that's one of the things that they've done for us. And I have to also say that Karen and Ricardo were so incredibly supportive of us. They were in constant communication with us as we prepared to compete for the first time as a team. And so it'd be like 3 in the morning because they're traveling all around the world. 3 in the morning, we get a message from them. You guys are doing this wrong. You need to do this part better. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, because we were sending videos to them of our rehearsals. They would say, oh no, you need to do this, and this part's not right, and this person, they call everybody out individually, this person's not doing that right, and this person's not doing that right. And so we listened to them, and as it turned out, in December of 2015, we were at the World Latin Dance Cup, and our bachata team was on stage, and Karen and Ricardo, they were also at the competition. They came down to watch the amateur competition just to support us, and they were out in the audience cheering us on. They were like going through the moves with us, and the bachata team actually won the amateur team category, and they were out there cheering and happy for us. And then the salsa team also competed at the competition. I had to say my partner and I, we had a little bit of a mistake, and when we got off the stage, Karen was out there. She looked at me and she says, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Un detalle. That's what she says. Like, one detail. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. We'll see what the judges say. And we just missed out on being in the finals by a few fractions of a point. But we came back to the World Salsa Summit a couple months later, and Karen and Ricardo were also there. They came down, supported us again, and the salsa team actually won the team category for amateurs at the World Salsa Summit as well. So they were incredibly supportive throughout the process. I consider them my friends now. And I have to say that whatever level Dynamix as a team was at, after we worked with them, they took us way up to a much, much better level. And so I have to say to them, thank you so much. Karen y Ricardo, muchas gracias para hacernos Dynamix un mejor equipo. Muchas gracias.